My name is Ethan, and the most important knock of my life came at midnight, from a woman I had spent 6 months pretending did not exist. This is not a story about falling in love. This is a story about what happens when you are so afraid of feeling something real that you build a wall so high you forget there is a person standing on the other side of it. Her name was Maya. She moved into apartment 4B on a Wednesday in April, and I saw her exactly once before I made my decision. She was standing in the hallway with 2 heavy grocery bags and a collapsed umbrella tucked under her arm. Her hair was damp. Her scrubs were wrinkled. She looked like someone who had given everything to the day and had nothing left for the walk upstairs. But her face was calm. Not the calm of someone at peace, the calm of someone who had learned, through difficulty, how to carry weight without letting it show. She glanced at me and smiled. Small, simple, not asking for anything. And something in my chest responded so immediately and so honestly that I turned away, unlocked my door, and made a silent decision that would cost me 6 months of my own life. I would not let this become anything. You need to understand something about who I was before Maya arrived. 8 months earlier, my girlfriend of 3 years had sat across from me at our kitchen table and told me she had stopped loving me long before that evening. She had been quietly leaving for months, while I sat next to her every single day and felt nothing shift. That was not heartbreak. Heartbreak is survivable. What I felt was something worse. I had completely lost trust in my own ability to read what was real. So I rebuilt my life around one principle. Nothing gets close. Nothing gets in. Nothing gets the chance to leave. For 8 months, that principle protected me. Then Maya knocked on my door at midnight and destroyed it in under 3 minutes. For 6 months, I was a man living inside a carefully constructed performance. If I heard her door open, I waited before leaving mine. If we reached the elevator together, I stared at my phone like my life depended on whatever was on the screen. If we passed in the lobby, I nodded once and kept walking. I was never rude. I was something worse than rude. I was invisible by choice. And the cruelest part was this. Even while I worked so hard not to see her, I noticed everything. I noticed she came home most nights after 8, still in scrubs, shoulders carrying the particular tension of someone who holds it together professionally and falls apart privately. I noticed she watered her plants every Sunday morning with quiet, unhurried attention.
I heard her music through the shared wall. Soft, slow. The kind of music people play when a room feels too empty and they need something to fill it that isn't loneliness. I noticed she always thanked delivery drivers twice. I noticed that on the hardest evenings, she stood outside her own door for a few extra seconds before going inside, eyes closed, hand on the knob, gathering herself. Every detail told me exactly who she was. I locked every one of them away. Then came the Thursday night in November. Past 10 o'clock. Rain hitting the hallway windows in heavy waves. I was 2 steps from my door when I heard it. "Excuse me." I turned. Maya, standing in socks, no shoes, holding a small flashlight pointed at the floor, looking more embarrassed than alarmed. "This is awkward," she said quietly. "My power is out, only my unit, and my phone is almost dead. Do you have a charger I could borrow?" 6 months of careful distance, 6 months of strategic invisibility, and here we were. "Yeah," I said. "Of course." I found a charger, handed it to her. She took it carefully, like she was aware of exactly how much she was asking, even though she was asking for almost nothing. "Thank you," she said. "I'll return it the second the lights come back." Then quietly, almost to herself, "I really hate asking strangers for help." Something responded in me before I could stop it. "I'm Ethan," I said. A surprised laugh, warm, unguarded. "Maya," she said. "I know. Your packages." And just like that, in the space of 90 seconds, 6 months of silence cracked open. She returned the charger the next evening, but she also brought a small paper bag from the bakery on the corner. "Peace offering," she said, "for disturbing your very intentional solitude. Chocolate croissant." She had guessed correctly. I don't know why that small, accurate guess moved me more than it should have, but it did. What followed was gradual. Real things always are. Short conversations near the mailboxes, a walk to the coffee shop on a cold morning, 5 minutes in the hallway that stretched into 30 without either of us noticing. Maya did not talk to fill silence. She let silence exist. But when she spoke, every word felt considered, chosen, honest. I found that rare. 3 weeks after the charger, I found her sitting alone on the stairs near the roof door. Still, quiet, carrying something invisible that was clearly very heavy. I sat down beside her without asking if she was okay. After a minute, she said, "Bad day." "I know," I said. We sat there for 20 minutes saying almost nothing. It was the most honest 20 minutes I had spent with another person in over a year. On a rainy Sunday in February, she told me the thing she had been keeping. We were at my window, her tea going cold between her palms, rain blurring the city lights outside. "I was engaged once," she said. "He wasn't cruel. That would have been simpler. He was just quietly dishonest for long enough that I stopped trusting what I felt. When it ended, I didn't just lose him. I lost confidence in my own judgment. I understood that with my whole body." So I told her about Claire, about 3 years of mistaking silence for contentment, about discovering that the person I thought I was building a future with had already quietly left, while still sitting across from me every morning. When I finished, Maya looked at me with recognition, not pity. "So that's why you hid from me," she said. Not a question. "Yes," I said. "You felt something, and it frightened you." The first day, in the hallway, something moved before I could make a decision about it. And I knew, if I didn't create distance immediately, it was going to matter. She was quiet for a moment. Then, softly, "It scared me too. And I let you pull away because I told myself it was the safer choice." Her phone lit up on the table. She turned it face down without answering. "Daniel," she said, seeing my expression. "Someone kind. Someone steady. He's been asking me for a chance for months." She paused. "I told myself maybe steady was enough. Maybe I should stop wanting more than safe." She stood, crossed the room, stopped in front of me. "But I don't want safe anymore," she said quietly. "I want real." I stood. She reached for my hand before I could find the words. "I'm so tired of distance," she whispered. "So am I," I said. "I have been, for a long time." When I kissed her, it was not dramatic. It was quiet, warm, certain. Like a door that had been stuck for a very long time, finally opening without force. She laughed softly afterward, the kind of laugh that escapes when something you had stopped expecting finally arrives. She pressed her forehead to my shoulder. 6 months, she said. We were right next to each other. "I know," I said. "I'm sorry." "Don't be," she said. "We got here." That was over a year ago. Her tea lives in my cabinet now. Her plants sit near my window because she says the light is better on my side. Some nights, when it rains, we sit by the glass and say very little. But the silence sounds completely different now. It sounds like two people who have both been through enough to understand that being truly known, without performance or pretense, is not something you rush. It is something you choose every single day.
If you are reading this from inside your own 6 months of silence, from behind your own carefully built wall, the person on the other side is not the danger. The wall is.